Woodman's Home Companion, live from Lake Wobegon. A word to the wives. Oh, I get it. That's pretty good.
It wasn't really a plot against George Peters.
The way we all showed up at his house and killed him.
The morning his wife Jane stopped by for coffee. We had just been in our new house 2 weeks, and I was still ecstatic over everything.
The sepia tone was beautiful.
My kitchen. Well, how do you like it?
There's only one word for it.
Brown.
Terrific.
You know, I'm so proud of it, it's almost indecent of me.
No, really, I'm an arrogant jerk.
Show it off, week from Friday night.
Well, you go ahead and be indecent.
I
Gal's
love
got
this
a right
movie.
to enjoy your first housewarming party. Sure wish I was having one.
Dream on, sister.
You having many people?
Well, not a mob, if that's what you mean.
It's really more of a multitude.
You, the Crawfords, the Slagles,
The crawfish and the
Martins,
flagels?
and a couple of others.
The least practical door ever.
Why so sad? And this isn't the first time I've noticed it.
It seems like every time you're in my vastly superior
Nothing
kitchen, you
new.
get all jealous.
Not very convincing, Jane girl. Whatever it is, I've got just the cure for it.
A tour of my new
There's a
kitchen.
sensational sale going on at Watson's. A new hat would be the ideal tonic for you. I'm going down this afternoon for a small spree.
Mm-hmm.
How about coming with me?
No, I wish I could, but it's just impossible.
I ate my credit
You've
cards
no
this
idea how
morning.
much I've got to do. Remember, I haven't got your dream kitchen to make things easier.
Why is she wearing goth makeup?
Mine's strictly the nightmare type. And I wish George would do something about it.
Even back
All
then,
he's done
people
so
blamed
far is
everything on
talk,
Bush.
and not with any real enthusiasm.
About moving, you mean?
We've looked at a couple of older houses, but that's no improvement. We've got an older house.
Things that aren't new are worthless.
If only there was some way of really selling George on the idea.
What if the old house were to burn down with George
Just
inside it?
freedom, maybe. Freedom from unnecessary drudgery. Freedom to go shopping when the urge hits you.
Freedom from
When
colors
there's
like
a
green and
sale
blue.
going on.
Well, sale or no sale, I'm swamped. Besides, my mother's been quite ill in Cleveland, and I've been thinking about taking the weekend off to visit her.
But then I remember
Gotta
that
get my
old,
clothes
old
in the
house she
dryer.
lives in.
I'll show you a couple of my prized beauties.
That's okay, really.
This setup makes any day wash day for me.
And that's desirable?
And I can do my drying in any kind of weather. With a
So it's
gas
like
dryer.
any indoor dryer.
It couldn't be easier. It's completely automatic.
It's so easy Cameron Diaz could do it.
I remember seeing this washer in the magazine ad.
Something about a recall,
that's true,
fires or
isn't it?
something?
That's right.
Isn't there a little colored guide light that follows the operation through the various stages?
Yes. I know exactly what's happening.
It doesn't jerk me around like my
Even have to
old
watch
washing
the
machine.
Wait a minute.
I just remembered 8 things that are great about my house.
Your mother this weekend. You know, Janie, my girl, this might prove a very fortunate trip for you.
If something should
Now, just
happen
listen.
to your mother,
Don't get too far ahead in your housework. Now, why should you have to lay out everything all nice and ready for George and Jimmy, down to the last egg and can of salmon?
to hell with your family.
Oh, no, I couldn't. I'd have to make things easy for them. After all...
After all you've been going through, this might be the awakening for friend George.
The Awakening of Friend George, this fall on ABC.
It might do him a world of good to be left all alone with Jimmy for 2 or 3 days.
Is this going to turn into
Your
Thelma and
kitchen.
Louise?
Well, Jane finally
Ugh,
got
look
off
at that
for
old
Cleveland.
house.
Still not too certain she was doing right by leaving George and Jimmy by themselves. Even though George was absolutely sure they'd get along just fine. That's what he said, just fine.
Isn't he annoying when he's like that? Oh, sounds like he's piddling.
Well, maybe it was the mess, and maybe it was just the temperature outside. But George thought he could use a little cooling off.
Apparently,
Nice,
George is developmentally
ice-cream
disabled.
lemonade would be just right.
The music implies that this is wacky. Jeez, this guy's lucky his shirt is on frontways.
Hey, Pop! When am I gonna eat?
I've been tied to the tree for 9 hours!
Oh, I guess I forgot to fill it.
Or take acting lessons.
Sometime you might ask George how far is a mile.
Or 3 feet,
He
even.
would tell you it's the distance from his sink to his backyard garbage pail.
Alright, he's stupider than the guy who keeps greenlighting Rob Schneider movies. Sheesh.
Now, like many men tackling a problem, George was very efficient. Very. The smart way to do dishes was 2 meals at a time.
Who left the upstairs horn section on? He looks like he's perpetually ready to rough somebody up. Wait a minute. Holy crap. It's the dad from Christmas Story. Like, for real, that's really him. Wow.
I'm gonna be here till midnight. What's the matter with you?
Clearly he hadn't discovered his comedic voice yet. Dad? Sit on it. I'm gonna hit you with this, okay? Don't. Yeah, okay. The cupboard scene, ladies and gentlemen. The cupboard scene. You know, I hear there's a bootleg version of this movie where the cupboard scene is an hour long.
Jane had been away for all of 2.5
Minutes.
days. But the way she was welcomed back by George, you'd think she'd been gone a month.
The brown dress again, honey?
Well?
Aren't you going to degrade or emasculate me in some
The
way?
others aren't coming till 7.
Oh.
Look, I still have a couple of little things to do, but it'll only take a minute or so.
Because my kitchen's so wonderful.
Sweet potato casserole.
Yeah, only this time with shredded pineapple instead of orange juice.
Ew.
You two go over and sit at the table.
The
I'll
shimmering
be
new
back in a
table
few
that makes
minutes,
yours look
George.
like
He's doing
crap.
some last-minute shopping for me. Oh, hey, I almost forgot the big news.
My house is
I
great.
went out to Pond Ridge with Helen Baker today, and I broke 50 for the first time on 9 holes.
I sure hope she's talking
Hey, now,
about
wait
golf.
a minute, Alice. You mean to tell me that with this big shindig staring you in the face, you still had time for golf?
Nothing to it. With this kitchen, it's
My
a
kitchen can
breeze.
fly to the moon and
Come on
back.
over. Look at some of the evidence.
Okay, watch. George is going to eat that marshmallow
By
for
the
the
way,
third
did you
time.
know that this kitchen won an award from the Woman's Home Companion?
Huh?
And really, they thought of everything.
Heat and everything.
I just love the convenience and modern styling of this built-in gas range.
Did I tell you about my kitchen's work with
Alice,
orphans?
aren't you going to light the oven?
I don't have to. It's completely automatic. Anyone care for a spot of grapefruit juice to tide you over?
Well, I just tell you about my kitchen one more time?
Incidentally, one of the things I love about this refrigerator is that it turns out ice circles and puts them in a bowl for you.
It can save your
All
soul,
by
too.
itself. Continuous ice circles.
Yeah? Really?
Aren't you taking a chance of staining that counter with fruit juice?
No danger with Formica.
So somewhere Alger
Whatever
Hiss is
thing.
passing secrets to the Soviets, and these
That's the
clowns are
greatest
worshipping
help,
Formica.
George, hanging
Great.
the things you need where you need them. In fact, this whole kitchen was designed for efficiency and convenience.
By Jesus.
That's what I like. Solid and sturdy as steel.
And so easy to keep clean, too.
Hey, what's this?
Don't you hate people who don't have this kitchen?
Oh, automatic flour dispenser. Very handy. Here, I'll show you how it works.
Hey, what's going on here?
What's oldish then?
Hiya, Don Boyer.
George.
We're a little early.
Oh, that's good.
We can kill you sooner.
Oh, good, darling. Hello, Jane.
Hi.
Sense a little tension there between Don and Jane?
These for me while I sort this stuff.
Well, you might have pressed old George in the service.
Uh-huh.
Here, come on, George, and I'll show you how it works. It takes care of all the waste. Yeah, the brightest, shiniest bride could use this gizmo.
Did he just say what I think he said?
Great.
And that also goes for this automatic water heater.
A water heater in the kitchen? What a
Two temperatures
futuristic
at the same
wonderland!
Same time. And look,
Jane's an attractive lady, if you don't mind my saying.
this layout. The man that set it up for us is a good friend of ours, Ed Stevens.
Yeah?
He's going to be here tonight. Yeah, just in case you'd have anything to ask him.
Yeah.
Nothing delights George more than being ambushed by a sales scheme. So I grabbed Tom and I said, you can take your kitchen and shove it up your...
Well, all I want to say is that Don's little suggestion turned into a rather interesting and provocative
they're really going at it.
conversation. And Ed Stevens is a handy man with figures and ideas. It certainly looked like progress was being made when we peeked in on them. Well, that's the way it worked out.
These women should be ashamed of themselves.
It wasn't a plot against George.
It was more of a series of plots.
And I would do something like that, do you?
Well, good night, ladies, and remember, if your husband really loves you, he'll buy you a new home every 6 weeks.